I am having a ton of fun watching this current Lakers team. I was thinking about it last night because I had a lot of time to think about it because the last 6 minutes of that Lakers Spurs games took 57 minutes. I'm exaggerating. It took a long time though. Even the last 1.2 seconds took 12 minutes. So I had a lot of time to think. This is the most fun I've had watching the Lakers as a neutral fan since the 2020 bubble, which makes sense. That team went on to win a championship. They had a lot of good role players from Alex Caruso to KCP to so on and so forth. But also I was thinking, again, through 9 games, has this team, only speaking for myself, been more enjoyable to watch than even that championship team? And if it has, or if it ends up being that, this means that this current team is the most fun I've had watching the Lakers since like 2011. Since 2011. Now, I can understand how crazy that may sound for a few different reasons. That feels like, without me trying to make it seem like there's a shot at LeBron James who ain't played in these 9 games, but I promise you it's not. This team currently does not feel like a Lakers team. And again, that is a compliment. That is a compliment. Well, over the last couple seasons, it was so heavily dependent on Anthony Davis and LeBron James. The drop off from those dudes was dramatic. Where it felt like if one of those two guys were going to go out, you could just chalk it up as a Lakers loss. This team has not seen LeBron James. Luka Doncic has missed time. Austin Reeves has missed time. And still they are 7-2 with not like a super easy schedule either. Over the offseason for the Numbers on the Board podcast, I found myself being a Lakers optimist compared to my peers, right? And I think a lot of that had to do with just simply Luka Doncic is on the team and he's amazing at basketball. A lot of the times when we were talking about the Lakers, I was like, yeah, give me the over because they have Luka Doncic. But also their offseason was pretty good, all things considered. It wasn't one of the offseasons where you got a Desmond Bane or you got a Kristaps Porzingis and, varying levels of success from those acquisitions. It wasn't one of those ones where you got an all-star, but a lot of the moves they made a lot of sense. Deandre Ayton getting in on the contract that he got in on, I wasn't a guy that thought that Deandre Ayton was going to be dominating, but I thought that he was significantly better than Jackson Hayes, who they had to play last season a ton, and that has been the case. Marcus Smart had to play basketball, and it felt like 2 years, but he's Marcus Smart. Even if he can't shoot anymore, or even if he's not moving as well defensively, he still is a defensive upgrade from a lot of the people that they had the previous season. Jake LaRavia damn near was the first name that was called on NBA free agency. And though I didn't have a lot of opinions about Jake LaRavia because he ended up last year in Sacramento, and Lord knows I don't want to watch Sacramento basketball over the last 2 seasons, he was an upgrade. And all of those 3 acquisitions are playing great basketball right now. After the first game of the season, I made the video where I was reacting to it, and I said that I was already tired of the Deandre Ayton experience in LA. Obviously, with more time put, he's played so much better. Looking back at my old self, I think I actually did reference the fact that he hadn't played with Luka Doncic in the preseason. So it's probably going to take a little bit of time. And that time has happened and it's been great. I mean, yesterday versus the Spurs, he was amazing. The game before that, when it was him and Nick Smith Jr. When was the last time the Lakers had a win like that where a guy like Nick Smith Jr. was putting up 25? It doesn't feel like a Lakers team. And DeAndre Ayton has been really good. To think about it like this, when you compare last year's team versus this year's team from the center position, DeAndre Ayton versus Jackson Hayes. Even if Jackson Hayes was as consistent as he was, you knew there was a really limited ceiling to what his individual output could be on the offensive side of the ball. You didn't expect him to ever drop more than what? Let me see what his season high was last year. 19. He dropped 19 3 different times. I was going to say you never expect him to drop 20, and there you go. He didn't even drop 20 for the Lakers. But now with DeAndre Ayton, that ceiling is a lot higher on a game-by-game basis. Yeah, it's not likely that he's going to put up 25, but he definitely can. And he has a few different times in this 9-game sample size. So it is cool to kind of see that. I think he is, I don't know if the number, actually the internet is crazy. I can look up these numbers real quick. From the untrained eye, it feels as though since that first game of the season, he is not settling for those long 2-pointers, which again is a shot that he can make and he has made at a good clip. So I can understand from his perspective, why shouldn't I take the shot if I shoot 57 or 58% on it? But it feels like over these last couple of games, he's been more aggressive and getting to, down low where he gets a pass from Luka or a pass from so on and so forth. So it has dropped. 2 years ago, 25% of his shots were considered long twos. Last year was a 19%, and so far this season is at 16%, which is not the lowest of his career, but it's his lowest since he left Portland. So yeah, he's getting to the basket more. He's attempting. He's attempting the most shots at the rim since, again, the year that they went to the championship with the Suns. So, having a great pick and roll ball handler like a Luka Doncic or an Austin Reeves, who he's played with both of these, just helps him get closer to the basket. One last thing, there's this one site that I've been using recently that tells you the average shot distance for a player. And I'm very curious if, again, thinking about Deandre Ayton and how I feel like he's been more aggressive towards the basket, if those numbers support that as well. Unfortunately, that's not one of the ones I got at the computer. I got to look at the phone. His average shot distance so far through the first couple games of the season is 6.7 feet. While last year, it was 8.4. The year before that, it was 9. So again, closer to the basket basically since he played with Chris Paul. Coincidence? He's played with another great pick and roll ball handler and he's getting to the basket more? No, it's not a coincidence. So that's cool. And again, getting back to the reason why I'm making this video, back to that original point, that this Lakers team does not feel like a traditional Lakers team. This team, again, they got the superstar player in Luka Doncic, but I feel like it's closer to playing itself like I don't want to say mid-market size team. Where I'm going with this is that the fact that they've been able to be this good with all of the injuries shows you the depth. It shows you great coaching. For it to be where Nick Smith Jr. didn't play, he literally wasn't active. He couldn't play if they needed him to play one night, and then the very next night he can come in and give you 24, 25 points on a stomach bug or something. I think he was sick for sure. Shows the level of depth that this Lakers team has right now that they haven't had in previous years. Now, I don't know if that means that I believe this team is a championship contender. I guess I wouldn't be too surprised considering they have Luka Doncic, but I'm just talking about the overall viewing nature of it all. Last night's game was such a good game for Luka Doncic, and I know that the overall stats may not say that. I don't think he was as efficient as we would normally want for a Luka Doncic game. If I look at this box score right now, he was 7 of 27, 4 of 11 from 3, got to the foul line and shot 17 free throws, 13 assists, 9 rebounds, and rebound away from a triple-double. So 35, 13 to 9, I'm saying it wasn't his best game, and it wasn't. But the thing that was so eye-opening to me, and has been eye-opening to me for Luka Doncic, is his defensive playmaking. Now, he had a career high in steals, so I'm not acting like he's doing that on a nightly basis, but he is really engaged. He drew a charge yesterday that I was like, hey, man, actually, I don't know if I want you taking that charge, bro. You took one in the chest, pretty tough. But he is as engaged as like ever, and we all knew that maybe Luka was going to come in with a little battery in his back about all of the BS that was said about him when he was traded and all, and of course, skinny Luka on the cover of health magazines and stuff. But he has lived up to all of the potential hype you can have, where his averages right now through the 5 games that he's played, 40. I'm going to say that one more time, just in case you didn't hear me. He's averaging exactly 40 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. That's nuts. You got him for Anthony Davis, by the way. I don't mean to rub it in for the Mavs fans, but I just had to say that because that's crazy to even think about, even almost a year later. And the Lakers took a big chance hiring JJ Redick. JJ Redick with 0 coaching experience. It wasn't like he was on, an assistant coaching staff. He didn't coach college. Hell, he didn't coach high school. He coached like his kids, who I think at the moment in time was like 6 years old. So he had no real coaching experience, and they gave him an opportunity. And I don't know what you can say other that he has exceeded all expectations. Just going off like the Vegas odds, right? Last year, they were projected to win 43.5. They ended that season as a 50-win team. And right now, again, through the 9 games they played, they're the 2 seed, only behind the OKC Thunder without LeBron James playing. So, like, that is great, even on a night-by-night basis. I mean, it's so easy to kind of go through the motions, and I guess not every coach does this, but it's an 82-game season. It's hard to really adjust your defensive identity on a game-by-game basis. You can tell when JJ Redick has been really in the lab on the defensive side of the ball, and you felt that yesterday, where a few nights ago, we just saw the Phoenix Suns hold Wembanyama to like 9 points, 9 rebounds, or something insane like that. And one of the ways they did that was to put a small defender, push him away from the basket as much as possible. When you touch the ball, send to, make somebody else be a playmaker. And the Lakers just did exactly that as well. And it worked to the degree where they got the win. Now, a guy like Stephon Castle as a secondary decision maker and the secondary playmaker and play finisher had a really good game off of, those doubles off of Wembanyama. But still, you shut down a guy that at this point had been in conversations for maybe he's the best player in the world. You shut that down, and he also fouled out on some good defensive possessions where you're drawing charges. So JJ Redick's got these guys hooping right now. It feels like a real team, which is just so fun to say. And then just a little minute ago, no promo. LeBron James' eyes lie 5-on-5, won't make this Lakers trip, but LeBron James is gearing his way to come back to play basketball soon. I don't know how that changes the dynamic of the team necessarily, but he's LeBron James. It's always a positive to have him over some of the other guys you've been playing, even if those other guys have been playing well. He's LeBron James. You feel me? But it makes me not just optimistic for this season, but optimistic for the season or the seasons after this, where maybe you are in a post LeBron James era with Luka Doncic being there and Austin Reeves, hopefully for them, on a nice contract extension, that you can build a team around Luka and be successful. Because I don't think, even again, I love their offseason. I don't think this team necessarily caters to the greatness of Luka Doncic. I used to think right now he's averaging 40 and people are stepping up to the plate. But like, there's a way you can construct this roster to be perfect for Luka, and that's not yet, and they're still winning games. So that may be a little bit scary for the rest of the league. I don't know how I got this far into the video without giving my flowers to this player, Rui Hachimura, who is averaging 16 points per game, 4 rebounds on 59% shooting, 47% from 3. In some of these games, again, the game I'm thinking about where versus the Blazers, where it was no Luka, no Braun, and no Austin Reeves, a game that I was very close to not watching a single second of. Thank God I did, because it was a banger. Rui Hachimura has been just so very consistent. Last night, when Luka Doncic went to the bench, obviously with no LeBron and no Austin Reeves, they lack playmaking, they lack play creation, and Rui Hachimura was like that second unit play initiator, and he did a pretty damn good job, all things considered. So he's been consistent as hell for the Lakers since he got there, and he feels like a nearly an irreplaceable spot for the Lakers right now. I have to say nearly because I know if another name came on the board that's like an all-star became available or a superstar became available, ain't no way you're going to be like, oh, I'm not trading Rui Hachimura. So you got to say nearly. I don't know, man. It's a good spot to be in if you're a Lakers fan. I would just say that. I'm just sitting here looking through the numbers. There are some things, and here's me trying to like temper my own expectations about the team, about their overall jump shooting in the mid-range area. It's just extremely high, like 58% high. The league average is 42%. So they're shooting 16% better in the mid-range than any other team. That feels like it'll come down. Even if it is still number one in the league, there's a difference between number one and number two of 8% points. So, yeah, expect that to maybe drop. Overall, though, again, super fun experience. And I've said it again, I've said before, there's no better show in basketball that I've experienced as far as like live watching than Luka Doncic. And maybe that's just carrying over when I'm feeling it a little bit more through the screen. But when I got to see him live the few times that I have, there's no better show. So shout out to Luka. Shout out to the Lakers, man. Are they back? I don't know.